Welcome to Studio Playhouse. I'm the host and producer, Regina Elliott Ramsey. My very special guest today is Dr. Jyl Lynn Felman, and she's going to do an excerpt from her latest performance piece, Girl Kicks Girl. Dr. Felman is an author, performance artist, and lawyer who teaches women's studies, and she's taught at Brandeis University, the University of Massachusetts, and currently is teaching at Suffolk University. Dr. Felman's memoir, Cravings, was published in 1997, and Hot Chicken Wings, a collection of short stories, was a 1993 Lambda Literary Finalist. If Only I'd Been Born a Kosher Chicken, her autobiographical one-woman show aired nationally in 1997 on C-SPAN's Performance Series. She has appeared at over 25 universities in England, Canada, the United States, Australia, and the Czech Republic, and she has been featured on radio and TV, including the BBC and the NPR. Never a Dull Moment, Teaching in the Art of Performance, was recently published to wide acclaim, and she has written several other performance pieces, including Terry Schiavo, Inc.
Terry Schiavo.
Oh, Schiavo, Inc. And the latest one, Girl Kicks Girl. Thank you for coming, Dr. Felman. It's wonderful to have you here.
My pleasure.
So talk a little bit about how you develop your writing. And you're a playwright, you're an author, you know, it's short stories written, but you also do these performance pieces. So could you talk a little bit about how you develop your work?
Usually I live it in my head for a very, very long time and become obsessed with it. In this particular piece, I had been to Israel many times, but I had never been to the West Bank, to the territories, Palestine. And after I was there 3 years ago, I just immersed myself in what I saw emotionally, psychically, and much to my surprise, I was in Prague in the Czech Republic there to write a play, and instead this performance piece came out, and it just came out all by its own in a particular style that is unusual. The audience may find it a little challenging at first. It's written in fragments, but that's basically in response to how horrifying the content is.
Would you call this piece controversial?
Absolutely, and it's very difficult to perform because it's a Jew looking critically at Israel and Palestine and the loss of the Jewish woman's embrace of Israel when she was a child. And I think it brings up many, many feelings for the audience.
Oh yes, I think that people will react to it very strongly, one way or the other. So I'd like to actually go to the first excerpt from the piece, and then we can come back and talk a little more about it, and then we'll do another excerpt, if that's okay?
That's great.
Okay, so we're going to run Girl Kicks Girl. This is an excerpt from the very beginning of the piece.
Girl kicks girl. Woman shrieks. With taut, sweaty arms, woman yells, stepping on her skinny black dog, who cannot stand still. Woman stares straight ahead. Nobody looks. Hot, humid air. Woman shrieks louder, watching her dog biting soldier's ankles. Soldier yells, curses hard. Woman smothers her nervous laugh. Soldier points gun at the woman in line. No one speaks. Everyone is afraid. Cursing soldier with sore ankles. Wants identification. Woman rummages through bag. Pulls out wallet. Faster, faster. Soldier has no patience. Wallet falls out of woman's hand. Soldier points gun towards the ground. Woman bends down. Groceries fall out. Woman doesn't know what to do. Pick up cucumbers, tomatoes, or purple cabbages. Pick up wallet. Soldier crushes tomatoes with butt of his gun, one at a time. Woman cries out, there are no more tomatoes, only squished red tomato juice seeping over dry ground. Where people wait. Soldier laughs, demands identification. Woman picks up soft leather brown wallet covered in tomatoes. Wallet her husband gave her before they married. Woman opens flat, renews identification, and hold card out. Soldier examines card. Soldier walks over to another soldier. Woman waits. Everyone in line must wait. Line doesn't move. Forward or backward, soldiers confer. Dog pisses in line, a yellow puddle at her foot. Yelping dog pisses in line, leaving yellow puddle. Woman freezes waiting. Yellow puddle seeps near soldier. Woman freezes waiting. Yellow puddle at their feet. Soldiers keep talking, shaking heads, not sure what to do with woman. Woman not sure what is going to happen to her. Soldier keeps identification, does not give it back to the woman who is not sure what will happen to her without identification. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the soldiers talk and point, and the dog and the woman, the line stands still for an hour, then another. Soon it will be too late. Behind the woman, girl kicks girl, girl kicks back. The girls are fighting. The border will close. Everyone knows today no one will cross the checkpoint because of the woman and her skinny black dog who is pissing again. Even the dog is afraid. The people in line are running out of water. The air is hot and humid. The woman's throat is dry. The soldiers talk and the woman stares. She knows she will be taken out of line and the checkpoint will close and the people will wait. But her husband is waiting on the other side with the children who are hungry, sitting at the table, waiting for their mother who doesn't come home. The rain is coming soon, and the woman and her dog and the girl who kicks the girl back will get wet. The woman stands in the dark, waiting for the rain. She is not to blame, she tells herself, that the line stopped moving. Everybody knows it's the soldiers who stopped the line, not the woman, but still she feels bad. It is her fault no one crosses today, but it is not her fault, she tells herself, that she has no more tomatoes. Her children love tomatoes. She promised them tomatoes. The woman is tired. She lies on the ground to sleep with her skinny black dog curling up in her arms. The people in line lie down. Everyone knows how to sleep on the ground and not to lose their place in line until the soldiers decide what to do about the woman who does not know what will happen to her. The rain is light at first. The woman sleeps with the rain damp on her face. She has learned how to sleep in line at the border waiting to cross. She wants to dream about her children, about giving them tomatoes. But when she closes her eyes, she cannot see the children or her husband. She sees nothing. In line, waiting for the soldiers who smoke to decide. She sees nothing. When she closes her eyes to dream of her children, she sees a plate of red tomatoes sliced open, the sweet juice running everywhere. In the morning, in the new soldier's eyes, there is nothing. In her eyes, when she lifts her gun and points the loaded gun at the crowd of people, she points the gun to the right, to the left. She points the gun laughing. She knows they are staring at her, through her, but do not see her. They hate her. She is hated by the people. She hates the people. Without the people, she wouldn't have to stand here all day. She has always hated the people, ever since she was a little girl, as far back as she can remember. Her parents hate the people. She knows she doesn't understand this hate. It lives inside her, in her body. In her whole body, the hate lives. A tight knot. Her stomach hurts from the tight knot that has been there forever. The hate creeps deep into her bones. She feels it in her fingers when she clasps the barrel of the gun. The gun she is pointing at the people who hate her and she hates back. She names her gun David. She and David hate together. Then she is not alone, by herself with the hate. In her feet, toe by toe, the hate inches its way up her legs, between her thighs, to her favorite place, where she used to feel good. She doesn't feel good. There are no good feelings between her legs, not now, not for a long time. Ever since she had to stand at the checkpoint and point her gun that she calls David, like the Mogen David, the Jewish star she wears around her neck for protection from the people who hate her. When she is bored and the sun is too bright, she yells at the people she hates, "Move! Move!" She hisses through her mouth, which is tight, like in her stomach where the knot first started. "Move! Move!" She hisses through her mouth like a snake preparing to bite. She hisses hard, "Move!" until she is hoarse. Only there is no place to move, and she knows this. The people can't move. She sees the woman in line with her dog from yesterday who is waiting all night, all day. She decides to shoot the dog in 5, maybe 10 minutes. She is not sure exactly. She heard about the dog from the soldiers, the skinny black dog who pissed a yellow puddle that seeped up to their boots. She likes dogs. She has always liked dogs. Her dog sleeps next to her, curled up. 5 more minutes. She will shoot the woman's dog. She looks at her watch. She misses her dog, whom she calls Rafi. Standing at the checkpoint, she misses her dog, Rafi. In 2 weeks, her dog will leap up into the air when she comes home from the checkpoint, grinning. She will throw Rafi his toy bone. He will fetch the bone and bring it back to her. They will play this game back and forth until they collapse on the ground. Soon, the woman's dog will collapse, falling to the ground because of a single shot. The soldier is a sharp shooter, never misses her target. The soldier wonders if the woman with the skinny black dog who pisses yellow in line plays fetch with a toy bone and her dog, just like she does with Rafi. The soldier sees the woman bend down to her dog and give the dog a hug, just like Rafi, whom she hugs all the time. It feels good to hug her dog, Rafi. She is going to kill the woman's dog. She cannot stand to see the woman hug her dog in line with all the people waiting. Will the people run when she shoots the dog and the woman shriek and yell? The woman whose dog she's going to kill any minute will shriek and yell, or she will be silent.
Now, that was very, disturbing in a way, and very emotionally wrenching. Do you think people will challenge you or have people challenge you about the accuracy
Absolutely.
of your comments?
One of the things that's been the most difficult for me since I came back was I really did try to tell people exactly what I saw with no embellishment. And it was almost possible for many people, Jewish and non-Jewish, to believe the reality of what I'm saying. And that, of course, makes me feel crazy, because then I think I made this up, but I know I didn't make it up.
Well, that was going to be my next question. For me, I've never been to Israel. And of course, I'm not Jewish, but for me, I don't want to almost believe it, that this could actually happen. Is this reality?
Unfortunately, it is, and it's much worse than I even portrayed it. The checkpoints, the lack of water in the territories is unimaginable, and the lack of work. And
well, I know there is a lack of work. And it's interesting because I've been told that Jewish people can't go to Bethlehem.
Oh, Jewish people aren't allowed to go into the checkpoints. I mean, Israelis, it's different. You see, if you're American, you can go anywhere. But Israelis, unless they're serving in the West Bank or the perimeter of Gaza or the territories, which Palestinians and I do refer to the location as Palestine, Israelis can't go.
Well, we're going to have the second excerpt now, which is the journalist who is Jewish and how she feels and how she reacts to what she sees. So we're going to that now.
There is a house next to land that belonged to the house that was taken by the settlers to make a synagogue. Inside the house, there is a room with 2 beds, one against each wall. The women sit lined up on the beds. There is a visitor sitting with the woman. She asks questions, many questions in English. The visitor speaks English. The women do not understand. The youngest one, a girl, maybe 12 years old, translates into Arabic. The visitor learns slowly. The girl's mother was in prison for 5 months. The visitor wants to know, what did the mother do to end up in prison? The daughter shrugs her thin shoulders. All the women on both beds shrug. There are 9 women in the room sitting on 2 beds shrugging. There are no chairs. The visitor watches the women. Why? She asks, pointing at the mother. Prison. She asks the girl again, why? The room is quiet. The shrugging women don't speak. The visitor sees a cactus growing inside one of the cement blocks the house is made of. The visitor knows the mother is the cactus. The mother stands and nods at her daughter. The mother starts to take off her shirt. The visitor doesn't understand. The mother walks over to the visitor. The mother removes her bra in front of the visitor. She turns her back to the visitor. The visitor sees red, thick red scars up and down the mother's back. She wants to touch the skin that is so swollen and scarred, thick red, shades of red, dark red, light red, brown red, mud red, scabs everywhere on the mother's back, black and blue red. The mother says one word. The mother repeats the word over and over again. The women weep in each other's arms, weeping and weeping. The mother with the mud-red scars on her back stands still. The daughter comes and takes the mother's right hand. Coffee. The mother can't stop saying the word. The visitor begins to understand what happens. No one is talking. Coffee. The mother with the scarred back was in prison for 5 months. And there was the guard's coffee, hot, scalding black coffee in prison. Somebody poured hot, scalding black coffee down the mother's back over and over again. The skin never heals. Hot, burning coffee down the mother's back. And all the other inmates have to watch. The mother stands in the center of the inmates who have to watch with their eyes open. The daughter speaks to the visitor. An example. They made my mother an example so the others would behave. And the visitor sees all the inmates watching steaming black coffee slide down the mother's back, turning red. The visitor doesn't know what to say. Who will believe her when she goes back to the States? She wants to thank the woman. She wants to wrap the mother in magnificent silk scarves, sea breeze blue, spring green, yellow, the yolk of an egg, scarves so soft to the touch. The silk almost melts in your hands. The visitor imagines wrapping the mother in healing silk scarves of many colors to make the scars go away forever and ever. Silk scarves forever. But the visitor has no silk scarves. She has nothing to give the mother. She has nothing to give the daughter, whose mother's back is scarred. The mother is ashamed of her ugly back. She turns and looks the visitor in the eyes. In the eyes there is nothing. Nothing is in the mother's eyes. The visitor leaves. She cannot stay, or she will throw up. In her hotel room, the visitor throws up, heaves all the food that the women give her to eat. They spend weeks, she is told, saving up to buy all the food. They spend hours preparing for her visit. Into the toilet, she heaves and heaves chunks of lamb seasoned with rosemary and garlic, stuffed grape leaves, sprinkled with feta cheese, chopped tomatoes and ripe cucumbers with fresh lemon juice and olive oil. The woman keeps heaving. Toasted almond bits and sesame candy that they give her for dessert, and mint tea. They say that she must eat. It is their custom. She is their guest. So she eats and eats and eats, stuffing herself. She cannot stop eating and feeling. She cannot stop feeling that she has made a terrible mistake. This wasn't supposed to happen. On this trip, she wanted to meet women from the other side so she could tell their stories. Now she feels ridiculous. She wanted to stand in line at the checkpoints to see what it is really like. But Americans go in a different line. They do not have to wait in line at the checkpoint. Americans are almost never searched or stopped. They are free to come and go, even where Israelis cannot go. She finds out that most Israelis never see the checkpoints or the rubble from the bulldozers or the uprooted olive trees. Israelis really don't know what's going on, she found out, unless they serve their duty at the checkpoint or in the West Bank and the territories. Palestine. She keeps reminding herself to say Palestine. She knows there are soldiers who refuse to serve at the checkpoints and the perimeter of Gaza. When she is done throwing up, she lies down on her huge king-size bed. She gasps for air. She is sure she is suffocating, even though the air conditioner is on. She keeps going over and over in her mind everything she saw and heard today. And since she first arrived in the country before leaving the States, she thought she'd write a book about what she saw in her beloved homeland. She would write it all down, the good and the bad, but now she knows she will never write a word of what she saw because she cannot find the words to tell the story. No one will believe her. She will go mad, she thinks, because no one will believe her when she tells the truth. She has lost all the words. The language to describe it all no longer exists. She tells herself that the situation isn't as bad as what she saw, that it isn't really as bad as she knows. She starts to lie to herself. Otherwise, how can she go on? There is no other choice but to lie and to forget as much as she can what she sees and hears.
She is ambivalent, I think.
Yes,
Shocked,
she is.
shocked, but yet ambivalent.
Yes.
In the end, though, doesn't she, though, really, she feels that, well, she is an Israeli. She wasn't born in Israel. And doesn't she feel that she can't tell the story? She'll never forget it, but she really can't tell the story.
She believes she can't tell the story.
Unlike you.
Unlike me, although I still feel I can't tell the story.
You usually, you get people, like Terry Schiavo, Inc., and If Only I Were Born a Kosher Chicken, you usually interweave a lot of your own personal feelings or personal autobiography into your work, but this one is different.
This one is different. This is the way it came to me, and I think writing in the third person actually allowed me to go deeper into the material this time. Other times it works in the reverse, when I can really talk about myself.
And you wrote a book, Cravings, which is autobiographical.
Yes.
And there's another book that you wrote, that
Hot Chicken Wings.
Hot Chicken Wings, and you also teach. Now you teach women's studies.
I teach women's studies and creative writing.
And creative writing. And what are you teaching at Suffolk now?
Right now, I teach the Intro to Women's Studies course and memoir writing.
Oh, that's right, memoir writing. Yeah.
Advanced feminist theory.
Do you think everyone should write their memoir?
I think everyone has a story to tell.
I think so, but does everyone want to really? Is everyone that interesting that they should write a story?
I tell my students that you're turning your life into art and you have to craft the story. So there is a real art to writing a memoir.
I've heard that more people write memoirs and try to get them published than any other form of book.
Yeah, I have heard that too.
It makes me laugh because I sometimes think, well, most people's stories are just not that interesting. If you want to leave the audience with something to say about, something to think about from Girl Kicks Girl, what is it?
I'd like to ask the audience not to be afraid to hear the truth in the piece, and you can still totally love Israel, but you have to really understand the situation on the ground.
Well, it'll give our audience some food for thought, and I'm sure I will get mail or telephone calls. But that's what the purpose of this program is, and that's what's wonderful about being at New TV, because you can present controversial material and no one will squash it.
I really appreciate the opportunity to.
And I want to thank you for coming here, because I know you're very busy and you're an artist and you're a professional, and I want to thank you for coming here today, Dr. Felman.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for watching Studio Playhouse.